Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a beautifully stylized dark fantasy turn-based RPG infused with combat timing. Parries, dodges, quick-time events, all set in a Belle Epoque-inspired France. The creators have also made the game with clear inspiration to some of their favorite RPGs, namely Dark Souls and Persona 5, and it shows. As an RPG enthusiast, the universal word-of-mouth praise this game has gotten had me curious. I was drawn by its unique art-driven world, fresh hybrid combat, emotional weight, and the idea of modernizing JRPG classic elements. But I just had to see if it lives up to the name French Final Fantasy. I'm also going to give a brief spoiler warning. The plot is thematic and emotionally well done. I may ruin a couple things, but hopefully nothing major. Till then, let's get to munchin'. This isn't a journey, this is an experience. Welcome to the Quartermuncher experience. A French indie group known as Sandfall Interactive, led by one Guillaume Broche, inspired by Final Fantasy, Persona, Dark Souls, and a number of other RPGs, built this game on Unreal Engine 5 with about less than, give or take, 30 members of staff, which is impressive for a game of this caliber. Clair Obscur is set on an island known as Lumiere, mourning the Gamage, a yearly disappearance of people at a specific age number. You follow Expedition 33, the yearly group this time comprised of 33-year-olds, tasked to stop the Paintress. Key members of this group include Gustave, Lune, and Seal, and you are joined by Gustave's sister Maëlle, mysterious traveler Verso, and his best pal Monaco as you journey through the continent. Clair Obscur doesn't have your general towns to speak of, but does have linear, richly detailed zones inspired by Art Nouveau Paris, broken landmarks, biomes that reflect chiaroscuro aesthetics, all on a highly detailed world map to explore. The story is melancholic, you've got heavy themes of loss, mortality, hope. It ends up all being all about the Paintress's motives that you have to explore, and as well as deepening your bonds through campsite socials. Clair Obscur is a very simple RPG. You are on an expedition to get to the Paintress's monolith. There's no towns, just a number of dungeons on your way from A to B. Paths are winding in the zones, but linear enough to prevent the players from getting lost. As for the combat, they've kept it complex to master yet simple to pick up. Real-time timing matters rewarding players' skill, not just stats. You use melee to build up AP, you spend it on ranged skills, you parry and or counter-attack, giving you either more AP and or less damage, you dodge for avoidance, and then you can use that on gradient attacks and or other quick-time events to do more damage. Expedition 33 also has a point distribution system for you to spend points on vitality, attack, defense, speed, or critical hits. There's also a skill tree so you can learn new skills and pick those to equip and learn Luminas from to change your build. Clair Obscur was built on UE5 with Nanite and Lumen. However, it was also made with a chiaroscuro palette, richly detailed Belle Epoque settings, iconic French atmosphere, and numerous other elements to make it feel like a painting. Clair Obscur has a strong art-first visual style, all alongside an all-star voice acting cast to flesh out the characters. This includes Daredevil's own Charlie Cox as Gustave, Final Fantasy XVI's Clive as Ben Starr's Verso, and props have to be given to Andy Serkis's role of Renoir. With that said, also props have to be given here to composer Lorien Testard, haunting vocals, piano-based orchestral score, The OST here is absolutely fantastic, not to mention this gentleman's first work. All the music generally fits the activities, but there's a number of combat themes here that work, but special props go to the Act 2 world map theme, which is clearly inspired by Nier Automata's soundtrack. In my playthrough of Clair Obscur Expedition 33, I invested heavily in defense, just in case a parry or a dodge didn't work out. It's a good thing I did too. This game does not mess around in the difficulty department. I didn't go crazy and attempt some of the game's super bosses, but you're free to do so if you choose. The best part of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is that it's hard to pick one very standout element. This is an RPG that is the whole package. Great graphics, great story, great combat, they're all top tier here. The worst part of Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is that it's a victim to the sort of turn-based turns where you have to parry or dodge 6+ strikes in a row, followed by doing it again and again with your enemies. And your enemies can have more than one turn in a fight, by the way. Alright then, it's time for By the Numbers. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 took me about 25 hours through 3 whole acts. There are 6 characters, 33 expeditions. This game retails for $50 USD. It sold 3.3 million copies in a month, and it is 100% deserving of it. Anyway, we'll see y'all next time on the next Quartermuncher experience. Until then, ta-ta!